see it?
When that come first, since the
Okay.
sun come out, I need to turn off the sun. That is already live now.
Oh, okay.
But
Great.
it's always
We're live.
delayed. But we're live.
Okay, so very cool. So what you want to do is you want to... Okay, great. We are good. We
We
are
are
live.
good. We are live. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. So I have to look on the
Yeah.
that side. Today is a little bit different than usual. And we're so excited to see today. We have a podcast live in Wade's office.
In the office. We are here.
If you follow our podcast, you know I'm Ria. Belong of me is my co-host, Wei Hong.
Hello.
Hello. We say how many times say hello, Wei?
Hello, I'm Wei.
So today's podcast, we really want to talk about how your energy affect your relationship. How is that? Because last time we talk about the energy, energy center. We have 7 energy center in our body. That's many people already know is us chakra energy, like the energy wave in each part of our body belong to the spine. We talk about the grounding, talk about especially, I talk so many about the traffic grounding.
Yeah, grounding while in traffic, right?
Yes.
Because so many of us drive in traffic, and
Yes.
then what happens is when you're driving in traffic and you encounter things in life, what do you do with that? Do you let life affect your energy and change your energy, which then affects your life, or do you maintain your energy? Right.
If you want to hear a little bit more how that's in the traffic grounding your energy tips, go back to our last podcast. We give so many tips about that.
Yep.
Today we want to talk about how your energy affect your relationship.
Yeah.
What that energy resonate with the energy center way.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a very big topic, right? I mean, if we think about it, what we're talking about is every human being has a unique, for the lack of a better word, energetic signature, right? And so when we have that energetic signature, that means 2 human beings coming together will have 2 different energies.
I already feel that energy because maybe you behind your background is like that. I feel like you are floating in your background. Maybe something with me, the energy shifting. So yes, as you said, everybody showing up with different energy. But in general, we know we have this energy wheel, the energy in our body that can help us to be aware, to be adjusted. How do you showing up in your relationship?
Yeah. So depending on where our frequency is when we are in the dynamic of that relationship, if we're at a high frequency, guess what? We're going to show up in a relationship in a higher level of existence, meaning that we can actually use our high level of energy to bring up that person. Right? How many times have we been in a relationship with a guy or the girl, right? Is in a really low frequency, and then it drags the other person down.
Yeah, I think in modern society, we like to say, oh, this person, oh, your boyfriend have a higher vibes, or your girlfriend have a higher vibes.
Yeah.
We all want showing up in our highest self in our relationship, right? But you know, in the relationship, it's not just the highest self part. We also have the lowest self sometimes, maybe many times.
Right.
Especially when you was in the romantic relationship, when you fall in love with somebody, you probably didn't know. We want to say didn't know how to function sometimes.
Yeah, because we're fallible as human beings. We have our high times, we have our low times, and especially in a romantic relationship, we spend a lot of time with that person. And so we're going to experience, it's not like going to work and only experiencing one side of a person, right? We have the opportunity to experience a whole entire spectrum of a human being in that moment. And so what happens is that I think one of the things that you help so many people do is when someone finds that frequency that best represents them, you help them strengthen that frequency, right? It's kind of like when people go to the gym and they do a PR, which is your personal best, right?
Yes.
And then what happens is you do it one time. You say, look, I lifted 100 pounds. How many times? One time, right? But the most important thing in a relationship is having a consistent, being able to maintain a consistently high frequency so that you have, what you help people do is you broaden that signal, that frequency signal to be more consistent, to stay there longer instead of highs, low, high, low, high, low, high, low like that.
Yes. So I love how do you talk about every sentence, talk about the frequency. As I'm the sound healing trainer, teacher, so I think you talk more frequency than I was talking about. But that's wonderful to see how we bring all of this energy around us. Oh, we have little bit of the guest. Look at that. She's so sweet. Maybe somebody cannot see.
Yeah.
We have the little sweet dog here.
We have a little Shiba Inu here named Manju joining us today.
She's feel our frequency.
Our frequency. No, animals are very much in tune with the frequency. They don't understand our language, right? So the only thing they have is their visual and their hearing, but they also feel the frequency that we as human beings are putting out. And you know what? Other people within the relationship will also feel that frequency. And when they feel, and so that will become this whole, it's like a mixing pot in a relationship, right?
When we talk about the frequency, do you think that mean love is the first sign? You know, that is when you don't know somebody, but you first time see that person, then you feel, wow, you feel like something happening, or something happening, or something.
It's harmonics. I mean, if you ever listen to music or if you ever played a piano and play notes on an instrument, right?
Yes.
You play one note, you can play another note, and sometimes that other note sounds perfectly matched to the note you just played. In the musical world, we call those harmonics, right? The harmonics of sound that produces beautiful music. But then we've also heard sound that doesn't match each other.
Yes, yes. I play sometimes, you know, as I play with my guns, with my singing bowl.
Yeah.
So I play the harmonic we call the perfect fifth. I'm not a musician, but for some I'm learning how that frequency match.
Right.
But as you said, sometimes we don't play with that orders.
Yeah.
We have different sounds and different vibration, and sometimes even you some sound you feel, you hear, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But that triggers different emotions.
You're right. And so what happens is this is that what I love about, you know, going to your events and seeing what you do to people and seeing who's triggered by frequencies and who's not, right? So if you ever get a chance to go to sound healing, for those of you who are watching, it's one of those things where if you are vibrating at a specific frequency that is lower than your optimal frequency, okay, Rhea is going to pick that up. And if she picks that up, she's going to play a frequency that will encourage your whole entire ecosystem of self to rise up. And when it rises up, sometimes when you're not ready, it's kind of uncomfortable.
Yes. Right? Think about when we talk about the comfortable way, how many times we want to be comfortable in our relationship, comfortable with our environment, then we fear about the change. But that comfortable is really benefits us, or is just the comfortable we used to, even we think about the changes, it's better than that's comfortable.
Yeah, I think
each changes. The challenge, bring challenging, that's different frequency, different energy. How do you out with that?
So that's a really, really good topic, and a conversation I've had with a lot of my clients in the past is that we are in such a driven society, as you know, as an entrepreneur, a driven society to constantly push to be better, to be better. And so then we inadvertently find ourselves living a lifestyle where we think the way to grow is this linear path of just constantly doing that. But this is why we all, like so many of us, burn out. Nature doesn't operate that way. Even in relationships, being uncomfortable all the time is today, right? Did you just put your pedal to the metal and just drove nonstop at a certain top speed?
No, you have to stop, then you have to slow down, then you fast, then slow, because it's not in the relationship. I like that you use this example. In the relationship, kind of like you're driving, but sometimes you cannot just say, I'm just driving one-way speed because someone in front of you stopped. You have to stop.
Yeah.
And when you're with others, with partners, or with anyone around you, maybe sometimes you are not in the same lines, but you be patient, be compassionate.
Right.
Maybe you adjust, find that harmony, like you said, and find that harmony frequency to nurturing your relationship.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever been to like a symphony or an orchestra type of concert that has one of the more progressive type of music where some movements are like very soft and very harmonious, and then the next movement is like it's like all this extra noise, and it's like it's upbeat and it's got staccato and it's got all these different things, and then the next movement it's smooth again. Relationships are kind of like that, right? You know, for those of us who've been in relationships, we've all been in relationship, is there's highs and lows, but it's normal to have that. You know, I'm actually very concerned when someone says, oh, we never fight, we never have fun, everything's perfect. It's like, what are you covering up for? Because nobody even drives around every day like that. We accelerate, we brake, we stop, you know. And I think what you were talking about to what you were saying earlier is that oftentimes we have those moments where we trigger each other, but then we get to a place where we learn from each other. We find the harmony, and that's a growth opportunity. But then we also need to kind of stay there a little bit, right? Kind of float a little bit.
Like you said, that is, we said, the power of the conversation, right? So you discuss or you communicate.
Right.
But come to the communication also is the energy. We will be talking about another part of our through chakra, how do you communicate. Now we come back to our second chakra, we said nurturing the water energy. How do you nurture your relationship with that energy? Because relationship can be harsh, but sometimes if you know how to nurture, you can make that harsh to become harmony.
Yeah. I mean, what you're talking about is how nature works, right?
Yes.
If you look at all the seasons, you know, you have water, you have air, you have fire, you have earth, you have all those different elements constantly at play. And I think if people start to embrace the metaphorical representation of the dynamics within our relationship as it pertains, as we observe in nature, right? Because like even today, yesterday it was sunny, it was bright, today it's cloudy, right? What makes us think our relationships is going to be sunny all the time? And if we keep looking for that and only that, this is how we energetically set ourselves up for failure in this constant like dynamic of jumping in from one relationship to another, or being in a dynamic relationship where you're making too much meaning out of the natural ebbs and flow.
When you talk about make too much meaning, yesterday I just published my one article, talk of the we all need to feel small sometimes. I love the song, so make yourself feeling small. Not mean you have a self-insecure, always feel small.
Right.
But sometimes when you make yourself feel small, that's many things around you not really truly matters. So only when you up, especially in relationship.
Yeah.
So we talk about the relationship is always more important. It's not your winner, who's wrong, who's right. It's how do you nurture it. Sometimes let our ego a little bit lower than bring that compassion. Maybe your partner or maybe somebody around you is say something, it's not mean, but you hear that, then you suddenly to how to say trigger that, feel all that significant, important, big, and your ego go up. Guess what? That's a relationship.
Yeah, that's
if
a
that
relationship.
moment doesn't go well.
Yeah. You know, I think one of the things as you were talking that came up for me is that I think if two people were to introduce more objectivity to the understanding of the moment. And I don't even want to say the understanding of each other or the other person, but understanding the moment that was co-created by both parties at that time. I think it will help kind of eliminate or mitigate a lot of the charge, the unnecessary charge in any less than desirable experience that two people are having inside the dynamics of a personal relationship.
Definitely. And also, we want to say, have a better relationship with others. The number one important is have a better relationship with yourself.
Yourself. Yes.
Right?
No, I love that because that's exactly what I was going to say next. Because, you know, at the end of the day, if you want to help take your relationship to the next level, or if you want to get into a better relationship, the number one thing to prioritize, and the only thing you could really bring in from one relation to another, is a deep, profound understanding of yourself. Right?
Definitely, we talk about the self-love. When you really understanding yourself, then you feel that confidence bring to you. Don't have that self-insecure.
Right.
Then you start doubting yourself. When you doubting yourself, guess what? You are doubting others around you. You are saying, "Are you true? Oh, are you really love me? Or maybe not."
It's a projection.
Even the person say, "I love you," but you say, "Oh no, I don't feel that."
Yeah.
Because it come from your own.
It's a total projection.
Right?
Yeah. Some of the clients that I've worked with over the years that wanted to really improve their relationships in their life and I don't even know, I work with them on their business, suddenly say, "Hey, can you help me with my relationship?" I was like, "Okay." But you know, it's a natural thing, right? If you're going to help somebody with one part of the life, it makes sense that you get to help them with all areas of their life, right?
Yes.
And one of the biggest things that I have found that was most effective is that if you truly want to find someone who is willing to love you for all of you, you need to be able to not only physically, but also energetically demonstrate what it means to love yourself. Because if you can't love yourself more than the other person loves you, that's what codependency, that's what codependence happens in codependent relationships. And that's a recipe for constant disappointment.
Constant
disappointment.
disappointment.
perpetual disappointment. It's like one time after another because you're expecting someone to be able to show you what it means to love yourself. The reality is this, is that if you invest in understanding how to love yourself fully, and then the next step is learning how to articulate and teach someone else to do that and what it takes to love you. And not in a distorted, weird way, like, you know, I deserve this type of thing, but really a really true, authentic, congruent way to do that. And that's all that energy, right? And the energy output. You will exude that frequency that will attract exactly what you want.
Yeah, definitely. That's what we talk about how, because of the culture we're growing up, we never really, I think when I grew up, you and I were Chinese, both Chinese, we know.
Wait, I'm Chinese?
I don't know. Maybe you're changed because your energy changed.
My energy changed my ethnicity. See, you could do that too.
So much fun. So we parents never teaching ourselves you have to love yourself. I think most time we teaching heard about this. Oh, you need to love your parents. You need, of course, we need to love our parents, but it's not the constant and only things to mention. Love your parents, love others, love your teacher. Never mentioned love yourself.
Love yourself, because that it might be considered too egotistical, too arrogant.
Or self-centered.
Or too self-centered or selfish, right?
Yes.
And if we think about it, why is the word self in there, you know? And it's kind of funny. If someone being selfish, it's more like self-full, right? And that's really what we want people to do. Selfish is like you're sort of about yourself, but you're really not. It's like, what does that even mean, selfish? It's so funny when you look at words and how they're made and stuff like that. Selfish, it's sort of self, but it's not really. So it's selfish.
Because when you don't have yourself, when you don't have grounded, don't have yourself, no idea who you are,
Right.
then you start codependent come out.
Yeah.
You start basing on other people how to locate you.
Well, you're
start-
looking for someone to fill the void.
And also you start
Yeah.
here, if someone, say, oh, you how amazing you are, then you feel, wow, I'm so amazing. If someone say, oh, you kind of like sucks, then you feel, oh my gosh, I'm sucks.
Right. Because then you leave
you
this
don't have
void.
yourself.
Yeah, you're leaving this void open for vulnerability. If you can't fill your own cup, someone will fill it for you. And sooner or later, someone's going to fill it with crap. And then you'll be like, I don't want this in my cup. What's
Then
happening?
we come back with how do we upload our energy to nurturing ourselves. That's come to your second chakra's energy center. That's connect with water energy. When I say connect with water energy, not say just drink tons of water. Yes, you need to drink water, but water energy, that means because when we was baby, brain we was in mom's womb, to imagine that that nature, that comfort. And when I say water energy, maybe walking in the beach, when you go to walking, so you're walking around the lake, be more aware about the nature, because the nature is superpower. That help you recharge your energy.
Yeah, just putting yourself in situations or circumstances where you are around natural energy so that it can help kind of clean up the toxicity of the world that we collect when we just go about the world, right? I love what you're sharing because it addresses so many different aspects of a human being or different types of human being. People who are more movement centered, going to a beach allows them to walk, right? People who
Yes.
are more instinctual centered, they can pay attention to the sounds, the smells, and the lights and everything like that. People who are emotionally centered, they can touch and feel nature when they're out in nature. And then, of course, people who are intellectually centered, they can then allow that space to help them think and process through things. Everybody's different, but what you suggested addresses all those different types of people out there who communicate on so many different levels.
Yes, and also I want to say, if you are meditator or if you not meditator, but you can try how to imagination and find your quiet space that when you unsure about your energy, maybe you just close your eyes, imagine you are in the warm hot shower. That lets the water, the fast as the water goes through your whole body, and imagine that's cleaning even some toxic energy with relationship.
Yeah.
Because
I-
toxin always come from insecure,
Yeah.
that you're so codependent on others, that's become more toxic.
Yeah. I love my showers.
I know you took a cold shower.
I take both, but I love warm showers too. You know, for me, water is very cleansing on so many different levels. It's a natural cleanser of energy too, and I think all of us have experienced that. If you think about it, right, where we've had a long day of being around a lot of toxic energy. And then we feel icky when we go home, and it's not just from the daily sweat or us just feeling dirty or whatever it is, but energetically we feel dirty. And then we go take a shower and we feel better because beyond just washing the dirt off of our body, we're also washing ourselves energetically.
Yes.
If you look in nature, nature uses water and salt and everything like that to energetically bathe and cleanse the entire planet.
Yeah, and think about our body, our human body. 60%, 70% is water. So
was
that
80.
one. So
Anyway,
80,
it's a lot.
It's
a
a
lot.
different part of life. It's a lot in your body.
I could
But
drink
it's
enough
the
to be
water.
90%.
Then think about that water energy. Water energy. Think about when you in that relationship. So cleaning yourself, then start grounding. Then you have more self-comfort and also have self-confidence when you go into the relationship.
Yeah.
Guess what? You deliver more love, caring, and compassion. Instead, deliver different upside way.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to work on your energy, right?
Yes.
Because when you know you have protocols and tools that'll help you stabilize your energy, keep your energy consistent, knowing that you have this almost like bulletproof jacket against toxicity, because the stronger and the thicker your frequency output is, the less impacted it is with the world around you. That translates to confidence, right?
Yes.
That translates to feeling self-secure. All that stuff goes away because you know your frequency can deflect a lot of what you don't want, right? And then it goes, right? And then it goes a characteristic of attracting and repelling, right? Positive, negative ions, is if there enough of it, is there enough negative ions on both sides, it repels.
Yes.
Enough positive and negative dynamic, then it attracts, right? It's in nature. And we can actually, with especially with the work that you do to help people understand that, it can help them have the confidence that they can attract what they want, repel what they don't want. And it's all through the fundamentals of the universe, which is energy.
Talk about if you don't know how to find your frequency, there I always give like a daily life practice. Just gently humming. So when you gently humming, then imagine that the water and the bubbling, then that can help you start moving your energy, then start more nurturing yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly. So,
yes, time passed by so fast.
Yeah.
Thank you that we talk so much about the frequency, nurturing yourself, then brings showing up better energy in your relationship.
Yep.
So if you have any questions that you want to talk about, or you want to ask a question about how it can make your relationship a little bit better, so you can put the comment below, then find a way and I, and next time we can answer some questions.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us here at this podcast, and hopefully we'll get a chance to answer some really cool questions. And how did you like this new dynamic of being in person? There's something to be said about that. It's the energetics of being in person, talking about the same topic is really
It's different. Because the energy is different.
Right.
So everything around it is
Yeah.
different. Especially, I wanted to say, probably I will be next time I want to adjust a little bit, because that make me a little bit feel a little bit dizzy with the background.
Oh, my
Yes,
background?
really?
My background.
I don't know what is that, but it is. So anyway, we talk about the energy. We are a little bit behind this. So
Yep.
we want to see you next week. Next Thursday, then keep toned with Wei and Ria. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. And then Manju's right here.
Really, your background really make me dizzy. The way you try. When I say that, you try.
Oh no, I've been here before. I've sat there before.
I don't know what's going on. It's just I feel like I'm like in the drugs.
It's just lines. It's just the lines. That's why.
Maybe it's my sometimes I'm not used to with this line or
Yeah,
something.
maybe. But this is what absorbs a lot of the sound, so it's not so
Yes.
echoey.
Yeah.
What? Okay, sorry.
Next time I
can
definitely
sit
need
here.
to sit there.
Okay.
Instead, look this, I was cannot function.
Yeah, it's okay. Or we can sit over there next time.
Oh yeah. Or we can sit there. The thing is, if I don't.
Yeah, no, if
facing
we
that-
sit there, we're facing each other. You're not looking at. You could sit over here, so
Yes.
you look that way.
Yes,
and
yes.
Sit over there, and you could look this way.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? We could change
definitely.
that up.
Yes.
So there's two sides.
That's two sides.
Oh, let me stop recording this one. So what I can also do is give you the raw
Okay.
camera
Yeah.
video. So it's one, two, there's three videos. So there's this video the whole time, and then this video.